experienced a prolonged heat wave or the drought, which made our lives very difficult, especially to farmers whose gardens were drying out, and we are experiencing heavy downpour, which is very much destructive. Physical homesteads have been brought down in the different parts of the country. Some bridges have collapsed and roads been cut off by the floods. UPC is making a special appeal to government and all stakeholders, especially the Red Cross and World Food Program, to move in and offer the necessary relief services to the affected families. Similarly, this is a big lesson that we need to protect our environment, carry out reforestation, protect wetlands, and all our water bodies like rivers and lakes. But also this goes to our government. On several occasions, the Ministry of Disaster Preparedness only comes in when there is a disaster. Uganda as a country has had a heat wave from November last year up to early this month. We have just started seeing a few rains. But as a nation, it's very unfortunate that we don't have granaries as we used to have. And these are systems that used to provide food for Ugandans during the drought and the famine. And it's unfortunate that people prepared their gardens at the beginning of the year while they were hopeful that the rains will come. Now the rains have come toward the end of the season. That whatever is being planted now, there are speculation they may not yield as much as they expected. And this is where, if government had prepared the granaries, would have come in to chip in and help farmers and also Ugandans until the next season comes. And as UPC we are saying, let that Ministry of Disaster Preparedness, let it not be there, as the name says, disaster. Let it be there to prevent the disaster, not to wait for the disaster to occur. Right now, if Uganda goes into a famine and a drought, we are going to lose more lives as if we do not have the best soils in the country. As government, they need to prepare for some of these things and help prevent them. And we are saying, much as we are calling upon the Red Cross, we are calling about the World Food Program to come in and assist families or Ugandans that are struggling. Also government as an independent or as an entity or whose responsibility is to ensure that its people are healthy and well fed, they should be also having their own granaries that are there to save food and to be able to provide for its citizens when they need it. The deadly rains expose our nature of roads and bridges. We need to have more enhanced bridges and well-constructed water channels like what is being done between Narukolongo, Busega, and Natete. We need to speed up the work to avoid prolonged traffic jams and diversions, which is a recipe for accidents. Just this morning as I was coming through Chireka, a truck fell into a trench, probably during the heavy rains when the road had flooded. As you go there right now, that truck is still there, they're struggling to pull it out. It fell into the trench. But these are some of the things we have been asking government. That road of Chireka has been flooding for so long. And some of the results of why that road has been flooded is the wetlands that could have helped prevent these floods have been industrialized and turned into industrial parks. And those are the side effects that we are going through, and government has not done much to mitigate some of those things. So, as Ugandans, we should expect much of this until government decides to pull up its socks, or we wait for 2026 and vote UPC into power and have a real president that has the party and the country at heart. With this, for God, we are not protecting the wetlands, we are turning them into industrial parks. There is nothing much KCCA can do. KCCA right now, when you look at the Chireka Road, Ginger Road, I think you call it Ginger Road, they have tried to make those terminals and then the trenches. They are very large, but still that road floods. When you have heavy rain like this morning, the road has flooded. If you go there now, you can see the traces of a flooded road. And these are some of the things we have been saying. Let the wetlands remain wetlands. They have reasons as to why they are there. And by these floods, these wetlands are trying to reclaim their areas. And why I'm saying governance is our problem is the so-called government that is supposed to protect these wetlands, is supposed to encourage people to plant trees, is the same government that is turning these wetlands into industrial park. An example, look at Namambe. Do you recognize Namambe right now? Look at this industrial area, 6th Street, 7th Street. Those were all swamps and wetlands, but now they're industrial parks. So where do you expect that water when it rains to go? And someone, I think 2 or 3 years ago, someone said that give Kampala 10 years. Kampala will flood the way a city, I think in Malaysia, did flood. Because the wetlands will reclaim. We have very terrible road systems. We have very terrible drainage systems that when it rains, the whole city is like a sewage. And everyone else is blaming the KCCA. KCCA can only do so much. But the governance, the government system has failed to put systems or structures that are protecting the wetlands, and they also come and also cry to us that the wetlands should be protected. But who is supposed to protect? Recently, the Minister of Environment came up and said, we need to protect the wetlands. But it is his responsibility to do that. So who is supposed to ensure that these wetlands are protected when government itself is selling off our wetlands to investors to construct industrial parks? So us as Ugandans, you can come here and shout, but the question still goes back to the governance. The systems are wrong. And if you have a wrong government, you have a wrong system. That is why we are saying, come 2026, if you love your country as much as you demonstrated, it is time to make a change.